I know myself to be God, and I know you to be God. I know all there is God.
What do you mean by God? What's the word God mean to you?
God to me is that which created all of this universe.
Did you create the universe?
Yes.
Which part?
All of it.
Did you create you?
Yes.
When you were not there, did you create yourself?
All together.
So,
see you later.
do you think experiencing anything leads us to the actual truth?
Yes.
So if someone experienced God is a monkey, Hanuman, does that make Hanuman as a true God?
Is that an experience?
Yes, through experience.
To experience God as a monkey. How's that an experience?
That's their experience.
That's a belief, isn't
No,
it?
it's their experience.
Well, unless you're that monkey, that's
No,
not
no,
an
no, no.
experience.
They've experienced.
That's
If someone,
outside. I'm saying inwards.
if they experience inside Hanuman
as a monkey,
is a monkey
I'd
god.
say that's mental illness.
So you realize now, experience cannot lead us to truth exclusively. As you just demonstrated, you are saying he's got a mental illness.
Yeah.
So we should look for something other than experience to really understand where truth
And where
lies.
do you find that? In a book?
You ask yourself, how can we know something for sure? What are the avenues of knowledge?
You just know. When you experience God, you know.
But you just said experience can lead to false beliefs.
But I'm saying experiencing God. I'm not saying
Experience
God in a monkey.
anything within you can lead to
Apparently
false
I'm a monkey.
belief.
Yeah, well, I'm a monkey. We're all monkeys. We've all come from
Experiencing
monkeys.
anything within yourself can lead to false belief.
But
That's what you just said.
You're happy to believe someone else who experienced God many years ago.
Wait.
Why don't you
What we're
experience God for
what we're
yourself
trying
as
to
well?
understand is your arbiter, your modus operandi, of how we arrive at the truth.
Yeah.
If that is experience, you have just demonstrated it can lead to false beliefs.
Oh, it can do, yeah.
That
but
means-
it can also lead to truth.
Yeah, it can, but it's not exclusively. So you need to find something.
Why do we need to find something
Because
exclusive?
what if
Yeah.
your experience that you think has led
Yeah.
you to the truth
Yeah.
actually is a false truth? It's not truth, it's a false thing.
I don't think that's a problem.
No,
Unless I cause issues to you.
So you're saying if people experience themselves and they don't cause any harm, it's the truth.
I know myself to be God, and I know you to be God. I know all there is God.
What do you mean by God? What's the word God mean to you?
God to me is that which created all of this universe. That which
Did you
there
create
only
the
is.
universe?
Yes.
Which part?
All of it.
Did you create you?
Yes.
When you were not there, did you create yourself?
Am I supposed to be talking as a reference from God or as a human being here?
As God.
As God.
When you were not there, did you create yourself?
God has always been here. God is infinite and eternal.
You as God.
But
Were you always there?
Why are you saying you as God? I'm saying there is only God. You and I are not separate. We are one. That's what I'm trying to say. There is no beginning and no end.
Does
is
God have
just-
knowledge?
God has all the knowledge, yeah.
Do you have the same knowledge?
As a human being.
Not as a human being, as God. Because you say all there is God.
But I've localized into this body, so
It makes no sense.
It does.
If God is everything, yes, if God is everything,
Yeah.
and God has knowledge, and you don't have the same knowledge, then you're not God.
I don't. That's not my truth. But if you want to,
It's not about truth. It's being logical and reasonable. If you want to be illogical and unreasonable, that's up to you. No one's going to take that illogic and unreasonableness from you. You are entitled to your illogical things and unreasonable things.
But
you can keep to
I
that.
believe at the moment of my death, all knowledge will be there as much as God, because we return to God as we die.
Yeah,
I believe that, yeah.
but if you believe you are God, because everything is God, and you don't have the same knowledge of God, that really shows you.
But maybe I chose not to know everything. I chose to come into this body.
When it comes to God, it's not about choice. He knows everything. Can God choose not to know something?
Yes, He did.
Okay.
Why He created
Does God know the
universe.
future?
That's why God created
Does
the universe.
God know the future?
I don't have the answer to that. I won't have every answer.
So He doesn't know everything.
I don't. Yeah. What? I don't know if knowing the future is knowing everything.
Everything in the future, things in the future is part of everything. So does God know everything?
But I think if you know the future, you lose free will.
That's not what I'm asking. Does God know everything?
I don't know. No,
So you believe in a God that you don't even know whether God knows everything or
no,
not.
you want me to know everything.
I didn't say you. I want me. You not. If you have
You want me to know.
if you have a concept of God in which you don't even know whether God knows everything or not, that concept of God is full of deficiencies and weaknesses.
Do I need to study for another 10 years? And
let me tell you what I mean.
Go on.
God is perfect.
Yeah.
Not knowing is imperfection.
Right, but what if you choose not to know?
No, choosing not to know is impossible if you are God, because God knows everything.
Yeah.
And exercising power of things that He knows already makes no sense.
But
To give you an
this is the beauty of the universe.
That's
Go
not the
on,
beauty.
go on. It is. I'll explain. Go on.
When you believe in contradictions, that's what you call beauty. But when you look at contradictions, we say that's a false thing to believe in the first place. That's unbelievable things. If I know what is your name and I don't forget, I cannot then choose not to know your name. Because I know it already and never forget.
Yeah. God has limitations, you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I am saying the belief that you're just portraying about God is a God that is deficient, God that is weak.
But you're also
God,
saying the same thing. You're saying God
I'm
can't
saying
do
God,
something.
no, I didn't say cannot. I'm saying it's nonsensical to say God that is all knowledgeable, then He can choose not to know. It's nonsense to say that.
Limitation.
It's not a limitation. One second.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry.
When you affirm a set of attributes, like God knows the future, He doesn't forget, and then say God can choose not to know, it's a nonsense of language, because you've already affirmed God knows the future. And then by saying, no, in my belief, in my paradigm, then asking, it's like asking this question: who created the God who is uncreated? Is my question meaningful?
It's a valid question.
Wait. Is my question meaningful? Because the question to be valid has to have essential qualities. Here, if I say who created the uncreated God, is my question meaningful?
I don't think it's the same.
It's not meaningful because it has a false assumption. The assumption initially is one assumption: God is uncreated. Then it violates that assumption, saying who created the uncreated. Because of this contradiction, it's not a question at all. Question to be a question must be free from internal contradictions. I guess no one told you that, but that's the reality. So when we ask and explore concept of God, we must make sure it's meaningful. That is something that is, past this critical thinking that we can believe. And that's why if you study Islam, that's the only system that you can accept that makes sense.
I'm ready. So what I will say is that God, in its perfection as spirit, knew itself to be perfection, but it wanted to experience itself. So God created the universe to know itself experientially. But to know yourself experientially, it first had to forget. But how can you forget when you are God and God is always God? Like you said, it's impossible, but it's not. So God created the universe and chose to forget, to remember. Look around.
Makes no sense.
Look around, we've all forgotten. There's so many forgotten souls.
Your statement makes no sense. I cannot
it might not
understand.
make sense, but it's
No.
experience. That's what I'm saying. I've experienced
When we speak, আমরা যখন কথা বলি তখন আমাদেরকে এমনভাবে কথা বলতে হবে যাতে আমরা একে অন্যকে বুঝতে পারি, ঠিক কি না? Did you understand anything? What's the point of communication if you don't understand anything? So if you want to talk to me about something, which
I can't.
No.
Loads, my
I want to finish this point. If we are going to talk about something and it's gibberish, then it's best not to talk about it.
But it's only gibberish until you experience it.
No, it's nothing to do with experience. Independent of experience.
As a 14-year-old, I could say to you, I've fallen in love with a woman. It's the most amazing feeling. You'd be like, I've never fallen in love. It can't be real because I don't understand it.
Okay.
I'm just telling you.
Does God know how it feels when somebody is killed and raped?
Of course, God knows.
So He doesn't need to experience that. There you go. You've answered your own question.
Free will.
Wait.
Free will. We're doing a terrible job,
So now you've just demonstrated God doesn't need to experience anything to know something about what it's like. He doesn't need to experience rape to know what rape is like. So in your belief system, you said, oh, God needed to experience this. So He forgot and so on. Thank you very much for the self-realization. I have to go.
Okay, but
because I have to go and break fast. Finish your point because I have to go and break my fast.
We're not here to experience rape. We're here to experience
talking about God
ourselves as the
experiencing.
Creator.
God already knows. He doesn't need to experience.
Yeah, but there's-
He knows the
yeah, but-
experience.
yeah,
He
but
doesn't
there's
need to
knowing,
experience it.
There's knowing and there's experiencing.
So does God know how it feels to be
And God will
raped?
choose experience every time over.
So let me ask you again. Does God know, in your belief, how it feels to be raped?
Of course.
So he doesn't need to experience them. Thank you very much. Let's go. I have to go. I have to go. See you later.
He knows it. God knows it now for experience. God didn't know the feeling of rape before the universe.
Does God need to experience it? Does God need to experience all the disease?
God has no needs.
So does he need to
You
experience
think God
anything?
has needs? God
Thank
has
you.
no needs.
So he doesn't need to experience anything.
All God wants is to experience itself. It's perfection.
You're saying he
That is
doesn't
the
need to
only-
experience.
That's
Hang on.
the only desire.
You are saying God doesn't need to experience and he needs to experience. Contradiction.
You can use 1st century AD if you like. You can use 20th century BC if you like.